Hey everyone, this is a deep dive video into something called actions, right? And what that means, it sounds like a really general thing, but it can be very specific. So for example, if you are trying to quit smoking, then not smoking is an action that is of concern in this issue, right? If you're trying to lose weight, eating and exercising, these are the actions that are involved in this issue. If you're struggling with social anxiety, talking to people is the action involved here, right? So whenever we have a goal that we want to actualize, there is actions involved in it, but we find ourselves sometimes some actions are so easy and some actions are so just effortless that we don't even think about it, right? For example, the act of eating fluidly and well, right? If you try eating with your left hand, you're gonna see that it's really clunky. So eating has become such an unconscious thing. It's so fluidly easy, effortless for you. And a lot of things also are effortless for you too. For example, scrolling TikTok or doom scrolling on your phone. That's something that's so effortlessly done, right? We don't want to do it, but at the same time, we keep on doing it. So I want to deep dive into the topic of actions and what makes an action so effortless and good, and what makes the action kind of not so easy. And so the formula is this. You might be wondering, what is this math equation? And so I'm going to explain it. So action is basically a combination of the first kind of a part of the equation, which is d to the power of h divided by p, and then subtracted by 1 plus u and g, right? So you see, in a grand sense, action is basically the result of the fight between your desire to do something versus you're not wanting to do it, right? That's intuitive. It makes sense because, okay, so I want to, but at the same time, I kind of do want to. But if I want to a little bit more, then I would do it, right? If I don't want to a little bit more, then I won't do it. So the nuance is simple. It's in the grand sense of things, from a bird's eye point of view, it's a struggle it's the output between the interaction of your desire to do something and the desire to not do it. Let's examine the first part, the desire portion, right? So D is desire, and that's our basic point. Do you want to do it or not? Yeah, I want to do it. So for example, making this video is an action for me, right? And to be honest, I spent the past hour just trying to deal with technology. So I was really frustrated and I really didn't want to. But at the same time, I want to more than the desire to not want. So the desire is there for making this video, right? The H is what really greatly amplifies the desire to do it. And that's hype. So you're thinking about, if I lose weight, then everything's gonna be so good. I'm gonna be so confident, and other people are gonna see me and they're gonna give me compliments. So regardless of whether these thoughts are true or not, these hyping thoughts really push your desire to the next edge. So if you're a really competitive type of person and then you're going against your rival in your sport, then that desire to win, right, is gonna be just like a furnace. It's gonna be so hot because hype has that factor. You're stepping into the zone with that heightened desire, and your body is all producing the right hormones and the blood effects of everything's going good. So that's what the influence of hype is, right? But then it gets divided by this thing called P, and that's perfectionism. So you're gonna notice that when you want to do something well, the tendency is to slow down the actual action because you're so focused on the nitty-gritty of getting this perfect. Because if this isn't perfect, then it's not worth it, right? So, for example, if you're an artist and you want to create things, but at the same time you want to create your magnum opus, you want to create your masterpiece, chances are that pressure is going to really, really slow down your actual painting, your actual sketching, because you're focused so much on the perfectionism. So, no matter how much of a desire and hype you have, if the perfectionism factor is really big, then it tends to negate itself and it makes the desire small so that the resulting action is also small, right? But if you're like, I don't care if it's good or not, I just want to draw comic books. So this is the mentality of a lot of like kids doodling in class, right? So I'm sure throughout your elementary school experience, there was that one kid in class who like drew comic books, right? When you're a kid, you don't care about being perfect. So the desire to create comics is there. And then when other classmates are like, oh my god, you're really good at making comics. Can you draw some more? Can you draw a picture for me? Then you get that like social validation. It makes you feel good, right? So the hype is built in there. And then you have no perfectionism at that stage. So you're just filled with action. Everything is effort. You just start drawing day, night, every day. So that's A, right? So that's the first portion of the equation. Second portion is your unwillingness to do it, right? So I want to make this video, but at the same time, like recording and editing this video and uploading and then putting all the captions in, it's a lot of work for me. So if I don't do it, it's really comfortable for me. So there is the part that I don't want to do this. If you're procrastinating, this also happens a lot, right? So you need to be studying, but studying kind of sucks, so you don't want to do it. If you have a child, this also is like, yeah, I need to take care of my child, but at the same time, I haven't slept in days, and I really don't want to take care of my child. And that is the U factor, like unwillingness to do it. There's this, it's like the opposite of desire. Like, I don't want to do this, right? But then this gets compounded by guilt, right? Guilt is an umbrella term for just feeling bad about the fact that you are not doing it. So, I don't want to study, so I'm not gonna study. This is clean. There's no guilt associated with it, right? So, if your desire to study is 0 and your unwillingness to study is high, then it's clean. Because there's no associated guilt that makes it extra heavy, right? But if you're like, no, but I need to, otherwise I'm gonna get a really bad grade, and if I get a bad grade, then I might fail this class, and if I fail, then I can't look at my parents in the eye. If it's about losing weight, I want to lose weight, but I don't want to starve. I want to continue eating pasta and steak. I want to eat the potato chip. I want to eat that chocolate fudge cake. And, but I shouldn't be feeling this way because I'm so fat. That guilt factor really amplifies your unwillingness to do it, right? And so, ideally, things that you have 0 interest in. So, for example, I have no interest in learning how to play the flute. So, the desire for me is 0. The unwillingness is also like near 0 because I truly don't care for it. So, my action line tends to stay near 0. And that's what I call like the clean inaction. Because you're just not doing anything because you don't really want to, right? You have no opinion about it. And when you have like pure desire and nothing stopping you, then like your A is really high. But what is A when it's negative? What is A when it's in the negatives? That is when it becomes an energy sink. You're constantly thinking about this, or that idea starts to take control of your life instead of you. So, if you're having trouble containing your habits of masturbation, which is a very common thing for young males, your desire to control masturbation is there, but at the same time you have a lot of unwillingness and you have a lot of guilt around that. Why can't I control these urges? Why am I so addicted to pornography? Why am I this way? And then that's when it starts consuming your life and it becomes a massive energy sink. If you're struggling with social anxiety, you don't want to talk to people because it makes you feel uncomfortable and it makes you feel threatened. But at the same time, you know that social anxiety is making you feel so lonely and it makes you feel so bad. That's when it starts becoming an energy sink. You have a bad relationship with your parents and you want to mend it. But at the same time, your parents make you feel so sad and upset. But they're your parents. You have to love them. And that conflict keeps on making it an energy sink. So, again, so this really makes it simple, right? So if you want to get things done, then you want to have a desire and you want to really amplify it with hype. And then you want to not have perfectionism. And if you have thoughts about not wanting to do it, you can address that. And you can, if you have a guilt, you can address that. Then your action output is like through the roof. But it's easier said than done. Like, how do I get hyped about something like study? How can I not be perfectionist when my output is so bad? How can I not feel guilt about this really bad thing that I'm doing? And that is ultimately, these kinds of questions that are unanswered is what ultimately is affecting your action, right? So that is when coaching comes in. That is when a lot of self-reflection, and that is when like philosophies and self-improvement tips start coming in, right? Building hype is a big part of my coaching package because it's a lot, hype is a very bodily experience, and the more you get in practice with connecting to that part of your body, the easier it is to kind of feel that, right? Perfectionism is, a lot of wounded people have perfectionism because they think, oh no, my life must be this way because I'm not good enough. And that requires a lot of healing, right? And a lot of healing requires a lot of witnessing, which is what you can do with mental health experts, like therapists or life coaches like me. Unwillingness is kind of a self-explanatory thing. I don't want to study, or I don't want to starve. I don't want to exercise. Those are simple. But the guilt part of, why am I this way? Why can't I just blah blah blah? What's wrong with me? That part, again, is originating from a lot of wounds from your developmental days, and that requires a lot of witnessing and a lot of healing, right? Again, which is when you can get the help of therapists or life coaches. So this is the umbrella video for actions, and you are most likely going to watch this because you were referred to this video as part of a very specific discussion about an issue that you are having. So this video is mostly for my clients right now, but I hope it helps you, the YouTube viewer, as well. And I don't know if you know this, but coaching with me for issues that you are having is completely free. It doesn't matter how many sessions it takes, like procrastination, social anxiety, and like weight loss, quitting smoking, anything. As long as you want to fix a specific issue, I don't charge for that because I think everyone deserves a problem-free life. And so that is my gift to you. If you want to take advantage of this, email me at billy@julylifecoach.com, which is going to be in the links in the descriptions. Thank you so much for bearing with me today, and I will see you in the next video.